Welcome to the Empowered Catholic Podcast with Karen and Curtis Herbert, where we combine the best of theology, science, and coaching to inspire your empowerment. It's our mission to help you release the inner obstacles that are holding you back from embracing true Christian freedom, so the power of the Holy Spirit can manifest in you. So if you believe that God has more for you, if you want to believe that God has more for you, listen on, my friend.
Hello and welcome to the Empowered Catholic Podcast, where we, among other things, encourage you and each other to pursue excellence, I'm Curtis. I'm here with Karen.
Hi, everybody.
And my friends, it is our, Karen, you know this, our 25th wedding anniversary.
It is. Hooray. And I just want to point out, it is an amazingly beautiful day outside. The sun is shining. It is warm and gorgeous, unlike our wedding day 25 years ago, where we were standing on the cathedral steps, freezing our patooties off.
Yes, we were. And my sister gave you her white coat that matched your outfit so you could stay warm. And she sucked it up. That was very generous of her.
It was very memorable, obviously.
You know, good deeds, you remember them.
Really true. And Curtis, I have a good deed from a listener who sent us a comment. She says, I'm listening to podcast number 143 about good boundary signs. And the thing that struck her was that we said it's really important to honor our emotions and let them help us recognize what's going on and get the learning. But once we've learned that, then it's time to move on from the emotion. And she really appreciated that insight. And I'm so glad we said it.
That really speaks to what we're getting at today.
Oh, goody.
And I think that connection will become clear towards the end of the podcast. And Karen, you're just going to have to be patient because the connections are going to come.
Darn.
They're going to come. We've been talking about excellence for the last couple episodes, why pursue excellence and maybe why we don't, what holds us back. And also, sometimes when we're stuck, there's a failure of imagination.
Right.
Simply, we're so used to things the way they are that we're not effectively imagining how they could be, and we're not getting the clues as to what could be different and how we could be different. And excellence in that way is sometimes a failure of imagination. It's not just individually, I think. It can be corporately as well.
Agree.
And that, Karen, leads us to this mindset, a mindset for excellence. And it is everyone is doing the best they can.
Wow.
That is a belief
Yes.
for you to adopt that will contribute to your excellence. How about that?
Well, I just don't think it's what we would normally think of. Like, I don't think it's what everybody was thinking you would say. So that's pretty interesting to me.
And what brought this to mind is that we've been traveling, and at one of the parishes we visited, I think the priest was talking about the election of our new Pope, Leo the 14th.
Woohoo! So exciting.
And he was calling out the commentators that were unhappy that he didn't seem to be on their political side.
And he wasn't a Cubs fan. Very disappointing.
And the priest said, well, you should attribute the best possible intentions to other people. That's what we do here as Catholics.
Right.
And I'm not sure I entirely agree with that, or perhaps that's a sort of thing that needs to be developed, fleshed out a little bit.
Yeah.
His whole homily wasn't about that. That was kind of in passing.
Yeah, I think digging into that could be very, very interesting. But it's connected to what you just said, Curtis.
Yeah, the idea that everyone is doing the best they can. And we believe that people are motivated by positive intentions, even if their behavior seems negative. I think that's really true.
Sure. There's some reason we behave as we do. There's some positive outcome we're looking for, either consciously or unconsciously, right?
Absolutely. It's kind of a Catholic Thomistic thing to have the idea that we're motivated to the good.
Yes.
We're always reaching for the good. Our desire for the good, it's inseparable from our human nature. The problem is our priorities can be really bad. They can really be messed up because goods compete. And choosing the best good or a suitable good can be a very confusing task. And of course, we have our weaknesses as well.
Now, I've heard that mindset you said, Curtis, with a little addendum to it in the past. I've heard it said, everyone's always doing the best they can with the resources they have available.
Well, that's a good way to think of it, I believe. It's this idea that we have a history and we have a certain potential. It's not unlimited. It's a huge potential, especially with the Holy Spirit in play. Yet there are things we simply are not within our reach.
Right. Well, what I like about it, I think, with the addendum is, we're all doing the best we can and we have access to certain resources. And we have resources we're not accessing. We have resources that we just haven't discovered yet. And therein lies the possibility for change and for growth and for transformation. So I'm doing the best I can with what I have. And there's also a lot of opportunity for me to access new resources.
That's the empowerment mindset right there.
That is the empowerment mindset.
I have resources that I'm not accessing.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to tell you I can do anything, yet I know that I can do great things and I can do much more in almost every area.
Yes.
There must be some area where I couldn't do more. I don't know. Maybe I'll think of one.
Well, that's why excellence is always something to be striving for. Like, you can never reach some point where you're like, wow, there's nothing left for me to do anymore. I've just got it.
And when you think of excellence, I hope you have a little bit of excitement. Hope you're thinking of, wow, there's something I could do and it would be really cool. It would be great, or it would give me more capability to do more things. And it's this idea of reaching for more, being more, doing more, even having more, and in contrast to, I gotta be more gooder.
Yeah.
I gotta be excellent. Oh, man.
I gotta stop sinning. I gotta stop doing this or doing that.
Great. I gotta be really excellent today. Okay, well, what I mess up so far? I've messed up 10 things already. Oh, man. This excellence, I'm just gonna go back to bed.
Well, it's really interesting you said all that, Curtis, because I think another thing I thought of when you said that was even the people who say about other people, I know you're doing the best you can. I know you have positive intention. We don't usually turn that around and apply that to ourselves.
Well, that's right. And there's a couple caveats with this. I think when we're looking at other people, sometimes we can see that their motivations, or perhaps you could call them intentions, really are pretty poor. They're pretty terrible. Yet, we have to realize that their higher level intentions are they're seeking the good.
Yeah.
Their intention behind the intention is good. And with this in mind, we can protect ourselves from malevolent actors.
Right.
We don't have to be naive. We don't have to give people a pass on poor behavior. Although with charity, I think most of us could probably tolerate a whole lot more than we actually tolerate. Yet, with all principles, they have their limits. There's this saying, rules are many, principles are few. Rules sometimes change, but principles never do. That is very true. It's also very naive.
Right.
Because principles are always competing with each other according to the situation. And we're trying to find the right principles to guide our actions based on the higher good and also simply our understanding of what we think is prudent.
Well, that's what I love about the virtue of prudence is it's the capacity to take all of the competing priorities and principles and really see how they fit together in a particular situation and get a good approach.
Well, it's really true, and I can get a little frustrated when you start talking about prudence, Karen, because you love that virtue. Yet
I didn't realize I talked about it so much.
Well, it's been a while, but I must have been really prudent lately. I don't know. Yet I kind of want the rule.
Oh,
Or I want the principle.
Yeah.
Because prudence, well, pretty soon you're weighing all these things, and the path forward isn't always straightforward. Yet life is messy. And this kind of goes back to some of this brain science and hemispheric divides. It's the left hemisphere wants the rule. Make it simple, boil it down, give it to me in one sentence. Yet life really doesn't actually work that way. Some things in science and engineering might work that way.
Yeah.
Yet most of life really doesn't. It requires integrating many things to get the whole and complete picture. And prudence is the virtue of integrating all the little chopped up pieces of reality and truth and logic and history and everything, and assembling it into a new picture that's beautiful and good and true.
So it really does lean on the right brain. It's a right brain activity.
Yes, it does.
Wow.
And that is your forte, Karen. So kudos to you, honey, after 25 years.
Well, I'll try to be respectful of rules as I talk about prudence and the need for them.
Yeah. Well, we all want to know what to do. So I pulled us down this digression, Karen, because sometimes, as you hinted, this idea that everyone's doing the best they can with the resources they have, we can resist this idea. In first place, because if we're naive, that idea will let people run over us.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work for us. It doesn't work for what's good and true either, because we have to have integrity. We have to be true to what's true, if you will.
So we integrate this with integrity and boundaries and prudence, if you will.
Yeah, and this immediately becomes very powerful in our day-to-day life when we realize everyone's doing the best they can with the resources they have, because we're encountering people, we're encountering situations that we don't like, that are obstacles that go against us. And instead of making it a big personal thing, we're able to just have the grace and say,
Right.
Okay, well, this is what's happening. Here we go. How can I respond in a way that's prudent or good and true and beautiful?
Okay. So what would it look like? I guess I'm going back a little bit to a previous part of our discussion. What would it look like if I took this principle and also applied it to myself?
Oh, you can't do that, Karen. Oh, no. Those other people, they're doing the best they can, but you, oh, man, we know about you, honey. You're just a train wreck.
Yeah.
You should not, if you made an excuse for your behavior, then you just act terribly all the time, wouldn't you?
I
Yes,
would.
you would.
That is a really good point. I can't just excuse away what I'm doing because I'm doing the best I can. That's really self-indulgent, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, self-indulgent. Maybe it's unfair of us to mock that kind of outlook because it's a real obstacle to many people. And so we're not mocking you, my friends. We're mocking your attitude. No, okay. I'm being facetious.
We
So
all do this.
Yeah, we all
do this. We all struggle to apply this to ourselves because we think that if we do, we'll get really lax and we'll just fall into bad behavior. And it's like we're giving ourselves a pass on our behavior. And I think what we don't realize is that when we truly appreciate this reality, look, I'm doing the very best I can with what I have. And it's like the acceptance of that opens up this pathway to choose something different if I want. And it's actually more powerful and more transformative for change and getting the behavior I want than getting stuck in the mindset that I should know better, I should be doing better, what's wrong with me, I need to get going on this.
Right. Instead of don't do the thing, don't do the thing, don't do the thing.
Yeah.
It's, well, I'm doing the thing. What else could I do?
Yeah.
Or, well, why am I doing that? And what could I change that would help me choose something different?
Yeah.
And Karen, when I put myself into this mindset of everyone's doing the best they can with the resources they have, or we could say people are motivated by positive intentions, even if their behavior seems negative. So when I put myself into this mindset, all of a sudden, I have a little more hope.
Right.
I have a little more hope for, I guess, our society, for the relationships among peoples and nations and within the country as well.
Well, I think if we just sat with this principle and we thought about the situations that we're in that we're really struggling with, and we just tried to receive this truth within ourselves, like even if we can't quite accept it, well, what would it be like if I accepted this? What would it be like if I believed this other person is doing the best they can with the resources they have, and they're motivated by positive intention. And I'm doing the best I can with the resources I have, and I'm motivated by positive intention. And I really either try to believe it or try to imagine, as you've said, believing it. What would be different? What would be different? It's almost like meditating on the mindset can open up some new avenues for us.
I love that, Karen. I feel like I'm going to have a great day. Thank you for that encouragement.
It's our anniversary, hon. You're going to have a super day. And it's the Feast of Our Lady of Fatima, which is very special to us on our anniversary.
Oh, that's so amazing. And, one of the amazing things about Our Lady is she's on everybody's side.
Right.
She's always on everybody's side. She always wants the very best for them. And we can be people that want the very best for everyone else. And my friends, if you're stuck, if you're not having the imagination that you want to move forward in your life, if your past is kind of dogging you, reach out. Go to empoweredcatholics.com. There's ways to get in touch with us. You can schedule a consult. We can talk to you about what we do, how we might work with you if your situation is something we could work with. And getting people unstuck, that's really our sweet spot. That's really where our tools shine the most, and we would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being here with us this week. Visit our website at empoweredcatholics.com to learn more about us. And remember, as Pope Francis says, God comes to break open everything that keeps you closed in.